Hello, and welcome to this week's session. My name is Tasha Smalls West, and I'm the founder of West Financial Services LLC, where we help landscaping professionals keep more of what they earn through done for you accounting and proactive tax strategy so they can work less, grow smarter, and stop stressing about money. If you've ever wondered which meals you can actually write off in your landscaping business, today's session is for you. So, we're going to clear up one of the most misunderstood parts of tax deductions for small business owners, which is meals. And we'll walk through exactly which ones are deductible, how much you can claim, and how to keep your records clean so you never leave money on the table. So, grab something to take notes with, and let's get started. First, let's start with the most common category, client and vendor meals. If you take a client, a potential client, or a supplier out to eat and the meal has a real business purpose, then that meal is typically 50% deductible. But here's the key: it has to be business related, not just social. So, for example, maybe you meet with a property manager to finalize a maintenance contract, or you sit down with your mulch supplier to negotiate prices for next season. Those meals count because you're conducting legitimate business. The IRS doesn't care whether you're at a five-star restaurant or the local diner. What matters is your intent and your documentation. Now, you'll need to keep a record of who you met with, the date, and the location, and a short note about what type of business you discussed. It doesn't have to be a long journal entry. Just a quick note in your bookkeeping app or even on the back of the receipt itself is plenty. This small step is what covers you if the IRS should ask questions later. Okay, so now let's talk about travel meals. If your work takes you out of your normal area overnight, then those meals are also deductible. Now, this might include attending a landscaping expo or an industry training or completing a project out of town. You may even just be visiting a supplier or an equipment dealer in another state. But when you travel for business, you have two ways to track your meal expenses. You can save every receipt for what you spend, or you can use the IRS's per diem rate. Now, that is going to let you claim a set daily amount instead of having to track and record every meal. And quite honestly, if you travel a lot, the per diem method is going to save you a ton of time and a ton of stress when it comes to record keeping. But either way, travel meals are 50% deductible because they're part of doing business away from home. So now let's move on to crew meals. If you buy lunch for your team to keep a project on schedule or to hold a safety or training meeting, those meals qualify as business deductions. But maybe you order pizza so your crew can stay on site during a long install day, or you bring breakfast for an early morning meeting. When meals are provided for the convenience of the employer, that means it helps your business because it helps your crew stay productive or safe. Those are legitimate business expenses. Just remember, the goal is to connect every meal expense to a business benefit, whether it's productivity, whether it's safety, training, or even morale. Which, speaking of morale, let's move next into a category a lot of landscaping business owners overlook, and that's company wide events. So, if you host a holiday dinner, a summer cookout, or an employee appreciation day, and it's primarily for your team, not for you as the owner, those meals are 100% deductible. Now, this is one of the few times the IRS gives you a full deduction, so take advantage of it. It's a win win. You reward your employees and strengthen your team culture while also gaining a tax benefit. And finally, let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions surrounding meal deductibility. If you grab lunch alone between jobs or eat in your truck while working, that's considered a personal meal. So even if you're answering calls or emails or handling other business while you eat, it does not qualify as a deductible meal. The IRS has been clear on this for decades. Your regular daily meals are not deductible because they'd be a personal expense whether you were working or not. So if there's no client, no travel, and no team involved, it's not a deduction. So here's the bottom line. If the meal involves a current or potential client, business associate, vendor, your crew, or legitimate business travel, it qualifies for a deduction, but you have to back it up with clear records. If it's just your normal lunch break, it's not going to qualify. You need to keep your records simple, but you need to also be consistent. And one way you can do that is by separating your meal categories in your bookkeeping. You can separate them by client meals, travel meals, and employee meals. That's going to make it easy for your accountant to apply the correct deduction percentage when tax time comes. And also, don't forget that each meal deduction should have a record of who was present, the business purpose, the date, and location, because every legitimate deduction starts with good records and good habits. Now, if you want to learn more about how to track your deductions and minimize your tax liability, I invite you to join our free Facebook group. It's called the Landscaping CEO Circle, where you are going to be able to access practical tools, tips, and resources to help you stay compliant and profitable. And if you're ready to go beyond DIY and get some hands-on help building a tax smart and stress-free business, click the link in the comments to schedule a discovery call with us. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next session.